Hi, welcome back to the GSM workshop. New project on the go today. This is on my 1991 Range Rover Classic. I do have previous videos on this one before using the differential parts. I switched over and other bits and test runs, I think. So I noticed, excuse me, while I've been driving lately, I've had a shudder as I'm pulling away and as I'm driving down the road, and it disappears when I'm freewheeling down a hill. Normally that's indicative of maybe a UJ joint going in a dry shaft or a CV joint or somewhere along those lines. We also noticed when I did a turn, I did get every now and again, I got a little bit of a clicking noise, but not all the time. I did check the UJ joints and they are fine. So I come to a conclusion it was the CV joints need replacing. I did put different ones in when I did the, it's a rolling restoration, when I did the replace the axle differentials and dry shafts. Now in my Range Rover, I've put in there the dry shaft and the differentials from like a 90s Discovery. It's got a different spline set up. It's a finer spline. I think it's a little bit stronger than the originals, but don't quote me on that one. So what I'm going to do is, I've already done one side, and this is one I've taken out so far. And it was very dry, and there was bits in it as well. I think this is the culprit. So what I did, I went online, I ordered a kit from Paddock Spares, and they sent me a whole new kit. Remember, I'm in Canada, in Alberta, and the whole kit, I'll show you exactly what I get in a second, both sides came to 250 Canadian dollars shipped here, which I thought was quite reasonable. So let me turn you around and show you what I've got in the kit. Then we'll go on to the car and I'll take the parts off. It takes about an hour to do. It's not that hard. No special tools really. But anyway, I'll show you as I go along. So let me turn you around and I'll show you what I get in the kit. Okay, this is what I get in the kit. You get everything you need to do this job. New bearing, new spacer. This is the only piece that didn't fit for me. This is the locking washer. You got the seals, the little clip, gaskets. There's a new steel part. I'll show you where it goes in a minute. And you get all the grease, the CV grease with it. And of course, you get the CV joint. So a pair of those, like I said, shipped to Alberta, Canada, came to $250. So I thought it was a pretty good deal myself. And thank you, John. Is it John Paddock or Paddock Spares? And very quick shipping as well, like a week. Came by DHL. Anyway, without further ado, let's go on to the car and we'll see how I do it. Okay, first things first here. Also, you get the wheel off. The next job is to get the caliper off. This could be a little bit tricky because it's hard line all the way up. So I managed to do the other side by gently bending. I do have new brake lines on there. To be honest with you, I don't want to bleed the brakes again. It can be a bit of a pain. So there's two bolts behind here. Just zip those off. Then gently pull this out of the way and support it, and then we can get it to the bearings and get the rotor off. Okay, let me do that off video because who knows what's going to go wrong. Anyway, I'll get this off and I'll show you. Okay, so I got the caliper just pushed to one side. There's just enough play in the brake line to do that. Next thing is to take off the dust cover. Oh, that's what I got over here, sorry. Which is a plastic one. That comes off. And then we got circlips. So let me put you on hold and bring all my tools close to me. I don't want to keep reaching in front of the camera. Now I've got all my tools nearby. So first thing I do is get rid of the circlip on here, on the end of a shaft. Comes off. And there it is, behind there. I got a washer, a spacer. Oh, always harder when you're wearing gloves. Just put it in the tin. That's that out of the way. Next one now is to take off these, which actually transmits power from the dry shaft to the wheels. I'll show you how so I'm using an impact. I just find it quicker and easier. Okay, take those out. Put this to one side. Now this will just come off. I believe I use just a little chisel just to break the seal. There we go. Doesn't take much. Just want to get it off. There we go. There we are. And that is one part. I have to warn you, this is a very dirty job. The next part is to take off the nut and the bearing, like the thrust nuts that adjust the wheel bearings. And for this, I just want to show something before I do this. See the amount of play I got there? If you can actually hear, see, that shouldn't be like that. Okay, this comes off very easy. I just got to tap the washer down. There we go. Now, this should come off fairly easy. Even this one by hand. Let me get this off, and I'll restart the video. But it just unscrews, and there's one behind it. Actually, I'll leave you on camera. I have it already right by me. Let's take this off. It's just nice and sticky from all the grease on here. There we go. Come on. Be good for the camera. A funny feeling I've taken off the nut behind it as well. Oh, I did. Put that to one side. And there's a nut. There's a nut, adjusting nut, and there's a locking nut. Get this out of the way. Now, I'm not putting in new wheel bearings. These wheel bearings are fine. So it's a very messy job. Now, this should just pull off. Like so. And that's that out of the way. Just put it to one side. Now you're left with these bits here. The next one now is to take off this cover here. This is the same thing. That is off. Just put it to one side. And now this cover will come off here as well. That's just, again, just break the seal like that, and this comes off. We're going to be replacing some parts in there. The next job, I'm just going to feel this. Now this should just pull out like so. This is the, and there it is. That's my, where are we? That's the constant velocity joint. And it is, you can feel the looseness in it. I'll just put it down there for a sec. I just want to feel if there's any, this is just grease and oil. No, this looks fairly clean inside, this side. So, next stage is to get that off and reassemble it. So, let me say taking this off. This is easy to show you. Okay, take a little walk. Put this down. Right. This is held on by a clip, and all it takes is a good whack with this to get it off. Hopefully, the last one it came off really easy. So, like that, and that's done. And I did it on a, I've got a wooden floor here. Yeah, so that is off. Back to a bench, and we'll go get a new one. Okay, I have the new CV, and I have, can you see what I'm doing here? Let me lower the camera down to the floor level. Make sure the clip is sitting somewhat squarely in there. Still on the tight side there. I'm going to get a screwdriver and help get that centralized. Otherwise you'll wreck the screw. Just one sec. Okay, take 2, whatever it's going to be. Let's try again. There we go. Just make sure that clip is seated in there, and it should just tap in, and that is in. That is secure and in. Now I've just got to put this one back in. Let's go back to the car. Actually, before I go back to the car, I'm going to pack the CV joint lubricant down in here. Very important part. If you want your CV joints to last. And later we actually put more CV joint lubricant in as well, but get as much of this as you can in here. Just squeeze it out and pack it in there. You can actually move this around, pack it in all the holes, get it in as wherever you can. It is a bit of a messy job. Makes it even more messy for me, awkward, because I've got to operate the camera as well. Just put it on, put it as much as you can in there. Just squeeze it in. The joint will thank you later. Just use it all up. Okay, I think that's about it. Get any more out? Just a tad more. Okay, that is well packed in there. Okay, let me wipe my hand. And you can see I really pressed it in there, used it all up. Try and wipe it off the ABS ring. You don't really want it going on around there, but it doesn't matter too much. This gets filled with this stuff later anyway. Okay, now back to the car. Okay, back at the car, you can put this in. Just gently guide her in, and you just have to wriggle to find where it fits in the dry shaft like that. Perfect. Alright, that's good so far. Now, a quick tip here before I've got to do something else yet. I got in this part here, I got a new bearing, I got a new seal to go on. So that's back to the bench for that. But before that goes on, a tip is to squeeze as much of the CV lubricant as you can in here. Otherwise there's a fill plug here. And it's going to be a little bit fiddly to do that. So let's go to the bench and we will put new bearings and a seal in there. And then that can go on. I've got a new gasket, I can clean this up a little bit. And we'll take it from there. Back on the bench. Clean this up best I can for now. So inside there's a bearing which I think is worn out, and I have a new bearing here to go on, and inside that is a seal. So the best way I found to get this one out, I don't have it here, is my hammer and punch. I'll just go and grab that and I'll be back.
Hollywood Actors Union or anything.
Oh yeah, you will.
For doing free pictures.
I know. I've got to sign your
Life away.
What's going on here?
Is that your Go Sport or your Sport Pro?
Yeah. Okay. So we got the old bearing out, discarded, and now we're going to put in the new seal. This is the new seal, and it's got a steel side, which is, if you like, the wet side, where it needs to keep the liquid grease oil out. So that goes down, and I use a socket just to tap it down. Now it should go down fairly easy. I just watch as things go down, make sure it goes down square and like it should do. Not being the easiest one to get in right now, if I'm honest. Just getting this thing started. Okay, so that's not going down as easy as I would like. I'm going to put a bit of old grease around, see if that helps it. And I'm going to try it in there. It's started now. Let's turn this over. It's not a very nice one. You don't want to hear me banging away. I'll stop and I'll show you when it's in. Okay, I've got the seal in, and I've got to admit it was a bit of a pain to get in there. It's in there nicely. It's down proper, no damage. Next part is the bearing, and for that I'm going to go to my press, and I will take you off camera while I do that because it's over my press, which is just over there, but now I don't want to make sure I press it in, so let's get this pressed in and I'll come back. Okay, I've pressed in really easy. I just use a block of aluminum over in it, pressed down really nicely. Then I used a this socket or another socket just to push it down to the last 1/16 of an inch in there. So that's all done. I will grease that up in a second as we go back to the car. I'm going to take this bag of CV lubricant as well with me, and I'm going to take my gaskets and a couple of other things, and I'll come back when I do the wheel bearings. I do that on the bench here as well. Okay, let's go to the car. Okay, back at the car. I'm now going to squirt some of this stuff in here. This is one of my top tips actually. It's easier to get this in now. Just fill it up as much as you can without it overflowing. Get all the way down to the bottom here. Oh. The nozzles come off. Very nicely supplied this with it. Just wipe off any excess. I've got a good chunk of it in there. And push it back in there. Now we can put this on. Just going to squirt some of this on that bearing. Did earlier. There we go. Now what goes on now is the gasket and this. Careful not to break any of the seals. Line that up. And you can see now there's very little play, even though I haven't done it up yet. The bolts goes on the plate, and I use again silver slip anti-seize. It just makes life so much easier later on. There we go, this one started. It is a bit of a messy job. Just going to put it all over here. I'll be changing my gloves in a second. All right. They're all started by hand. Screw them up, just take the torque down on here. And just finish off. You may ask why I'm not using a torque wrench. Just a very good question. I just happen to know feel how tight that is. So that is now on. That, make sure everything's clean, especially around there. So that part is done. Now on the back, I'm going to, well, maybe I won't with this hanging. No, I can. I'm going to turn my wheel around, and on here there's a fill plug. And I'll do that, and I'll turn the camera back on. Actually, I'm going to change my gloves as well. Okay, got it loosened off. Can be a bit tight. Started off using crescent wrench, adjustable, and a 9/16. Do the final turn, and all it is a plug on a taper. Probably an MPT or British Red on there. Probably MPT. And now I can use this. There's a hole I can squeeze the rest of this into. My filth thing stayed on here, it'd be really good. Just squeeze the bag slowly. And watch it go in, otherwise it'll kind of spurt out the top. And find a little sweet spot where it goes in nicely. Like there. There's a mosquito in here with me. A bit early for those guys. Come on, stay on there. Okay, I'm gonna slowly get this in. The tube key wants to come off as well. Try the other end. Did I say this is a messy job? Let me continue squeezing this in, and I'll go to the next stage. Okay, typical as for camera work. This is when off camera. I found a sweet spot, and I squeeze it in no time at all. So that job, that part is done. What is next is the wheel bearings down here. Can you see? Yeah, the wheel bearings. We'll go to the bench and we'll take the wheel bearings out and the seal out, and then we can do the final assembly. So far it's going not too bad. By the way, it takes twice as long on camera than it does, and I'm just doing it on my own. Anyway, let's go to the bench. Okay, back at the bench. Let's get your camera turned around and we'll look down on the rotor or disc. And we're going to do the wheel bearings next. I'm going to get just a bit of plastic here to put all the greasy. Now this does get messy. Take out washer. We'll take out the first bearing and we'll flip it over. But we need to clean out as much of the old grease as you can. I'll do for now. Yes, I remember now. There is a seal which sits behind the inner, like an inner seal. I'm just going to tap that out like so. And I can flip it over. Just get it out of the way and I'll show you what it is. Okay. Now, there's the wheel bearing. Goodbye mosquito. And that's the old seal. And it goes in. Again, where the spring is like the wet side of the seal, so it goes in that way. Okay, let's clean up this best I can. See, it's a messy job, that's why I changed gloves again. I'm going to get rid of all the old grease, but grease at least where it's on the inner race. If you want to see me do bearings on a Volkswagen, I have another recent video on how to do that as well. So we'll do this one first. I'm just going to wipe off as much as I can. I'm not going to put it in the parts washer because that takes, in my opinion, a little bit too much grease off. And the grease is on there is okay. It wasn't that long ago since I did these, really. Alright. Use my Valvoline grease, multi-vehicle grease, nice red color. And I just pack it in best I can. I'll clean the faces off the disc rotor off in a minute. I got brake cleaner here. Get this smeared in there and down on the race as well. I just like to use a lot of grease. Does not hurt at all. Better than too much and too little. That's good. Put that in there. Just rotate that around and I'll put some more grease on top as well. If you think I'm using too much, please make a comment. A little bit more. Excellent. That looks really packed in there now. Okay. Now with the seal. Here is the new seal, which was all nice and clean. Again, the spring is behind this lip here, and that goes downwards. And this one should just push in. Like so. That one's easy to put in. Say what a messy job this is. Okay, and just a tad more grease. And it doesn't hurt, actually, it's beneficial if the where it sits against the shaft, the stub axle, that is a little bit of grease on there as well. Just helps it all go together. Just flip this over. We will do the other side. You can pack this down again as well. Lots of lovely grease. Put it on the bearing face, on the inner race. Okay, how's that good? Just clean up some of the old grease off this bearing here, first bearing. And we'll put some more grease around it. Okay, try and spin it around, get it lubricated in there. Nice. Put it back, and more grease. Just pack it in. And this part is almost ready to go back on the car. Nicely packed in there. Lovely. All right. Just wipe my hands. Now, there is a tabbed washer that will fit on here when we come to put it back on the car. All right, let's take you off and we'll go back to the car. I'm also going to clean up with brake cleaner my faces here as well on the rotor. Make sure there's no grease on there. Cover that up. Okay, let's head to the car and we'll carry on. Okay, we're back at the car and we'll put the rotor back on and we'll torque the bearings in, and so we can get this one zipped up as much as we can. So be careful doing this. You don't want to damage the seal, the nice new seal you put on there, so make sure you get it over without scagging it, and just get the calibrator away. There she goes. Just push that back in. Now, torquing these down, a little bit of procedure. We'll start with the inner nut first. Do a quick clean. Spin that on. There we go. Now the procedure is you torque this down once, you back it off, and you spin the rotor around at the same time. Oh, and guess what? I got a piece. If you spotted which bit I forgot, put it in the comments before I show you what it is. I forgot to put the washer on here. It goes up against the bearing. Okay, now we can do it. This is not a hard job to do. It's easily within range of your amateur mechanic to do this. Just take your time and work cleanly. So I'm going to do this as much as I can by hand first. Just I'd say this is a messy job. So, oops, come back here. Got dirty. Normally I would do this on my ramp in the workshop, because as you can probably see, I've still got the 68 Mustang on my lift. I'm doing this outside. So, appropriate socket, and you torque this down first to 61 Newton meters, and spin at the same time. There it goes. Go there, and you back it off. And you spin it around a few more times. Like that. And then back down to 61 again. Spin. Click. I think you're done at this stage, you're not. You've got to back it off now. And you just snug this back up. Like that. That's literally all it is. And then you can put your other piece on. I don't have a new one. I think I said before, what came in the kit was actually the wrong one. So this is being bent over on one side. Make sure I got it in the right place. I have. And now I can put on locking one. Just use my torque to do that. And just snug. And then I can bend over my locking tabs. And I've done my hammer here. I'll do that, then I'll bring you back on camera. Okay, calipers back on. I just had to use my slide hammer just to pull this out a little bit. And the last thing to go on really is this washer, spacer, and the snap ring or circlip. Like that. And all that's left is the dust cover, and that is done. So for me, doing it on camera always takes longer, and there's always some other hiccups as well that goes on. So let me clean up here, and we'll take it out for a test drive. I get the wheel lock back on, obviously, and we'll go out for a test drive. Let's see how it feels. Be with you in a jiffy. Okay, let's give this a try. Let's reverse out of my workshop drive. And also, you can't see it, but I have another Range Rover there, which is a 1980. Let's say again, this is a 91. And this one has a 4.2 litre in here. Okay. And if you hear any strange noises, we stop immediately and creep back. So I'm on the dirt road first of all. So we've got to get off this dirt road. I quite enjoy window up. This Range Rover, always have liked the Range Rovers. Like the looks, in a way very comfortable. Also like the low waistline as well. You've got a lot of glass you can see. That's a real plus point in these. And nobody who comes with me for a drive, as they sit in, I think they sit in high up. They're not really that high up, it's just a low waistline. Okay, now we're on paving. Around the corner here. I can tell already that it's way better. So we'll just slow down a little bit here. Nothing behind me. Brakes are okay still. Look at the speed limit. It's a lot nicer feeling, I can tell already. I do have quite an aggressive tire on here, which doesn't help with the road noise. We'll just cruise along. Before I was getting, it's almost felt like an engine misfire. But from previous experience, I know it's either the drive shafts or the CV joints. I checked the drive shafts before, and they're all fine. And you can tell the CV joints were quite dry. What I'm feeling now is the tires out of balance. All the aggressive tread on here. But yeah, that is fixed the how do I describe it? Like a knocking feeling, like almost like the engine's misfiring really badly, but it wasn't. It's literally the dry shafts weren't, all the CV joints weren't meshing properly. They're all over the place. So this is my favorite road for test drives. I won't go too far, but if I put her into cruise, I'm getting no. You can see my hand on the wheel. I'm not getting the. Also, it's vibrating through the wheel as well. I'm not getting any vibration. I'm just getting vibration from those really aggressive mud tires I have on here. And next week, I will be buying new tires and putting my alloy rims back on. These came off. These rims and tires came off the 1980 Range Rover I have as well. So I think this is a success. Well, I know it is a success, not think. So we're running quite nice. And I can start using this again on my longer journeys. So thank you for watching. And I will turn around here and head back home. Hopefully this video works out okay. I'm a little bit concerned about the sound, if I'm honest with you right now. I went on. We'll see how she goes around the corner here. Even the steering feels nicer as well. So yeah, all is good. I'm very happy. Thank you for watching. If you like these, please like and subscribe. I do have a goal to reach with my YouTube channel. I'm getting there slowly. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.